Good evening, everyone. I am Mark, your fat friend.
I'm TYRUS, your black friend.
Well, and this is still the fat and black connection,
We're
where
just
we
a little
talk
fatter
about
today.
yeah, and on this show we talk about anything and everything as long as it's interesting to, I guess today me and well, you know what? I guess you too. Why not?
Hey, I'm cool with it.
So this is a live and interactive broadcast. Do you know what that means, Tyrus?
That means if you are watching right now, we are live and you can actually respond to us. Send us anything through, what is it? Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. I think there's a few more, aren't there?
Twitter, Daily Motion. We're there. Hit
And
us
if
up.
you hit us up on one of those platforms, we might respond.
We very often do because it's fun. You know, it's interesting. One of the things I was talking about with a buddy earlier this week, kind of a blast from the past. Somebody that, and check it out. Black original checking in. Not new cola, but original cola. James is checking in. Just wanted to check in. Last leg of my flight. Right on.
Have a
Hope you
safe flight, bud.
Yeah, don't come crashing into any mountains. That'd be bad. Knock on wood. So I was talking with a blast from the past, a guy that I have known for many, many years, a guy from high school, and he used to work on. I believe you recall, I used to have a television show a long time ago, back in high school and post high school, and it was a live, interactive show that was on cable. Cable. What are they? The local
The local channels. I remember that.
cable
I remember
access.
that.
Yeah. So he actually used to work on the show with me, and he's never seen an episode of Fat and Black, and so I said, "Hey, you should check it out. I think you'd like it. It's very much like Video Newark, which was the show I used to do back then." The only difference is we're not going to flash a phone number up on the screen for people to call in. Just send messages, such as Brenda saying hi.
Hey, Brenda. That's a friend of mine right there.
Right on. Thanks for checking in, Brenda. Nice to meet you. Give us a like and subscribe, of course, please. So yeah, ultimately, this is a live and interactive broadcast. It's October 10th, 2022. It is now 8:04 on the left coast, west coast, nothing but the best coast, of course.
Yes, sir.
And for those of you tuning in that have watched before, and unlike Brenda, first time, welcome. You know, things might be a little bit confusing. You're seeing a black gentleman, but not our normal black gentleman, and that is because James is flying back right now from the East Coast. He was out there for a celebration with his family, and so unfortunately, just the way everything worked out, we asked you to step up, and here you are.
I'm always here, ready and willing to go.
And I got to say, you have put more effort in this week to helping collaborate for this show
Don't do that.
than James puts in about a month. So
Don't do that.
So, we talked about this before because a couple of weeks ago, James was like a no-show and you came in to cover. And we talked about might have to have a new black because, James isn't pulling his weight. I get I'm the fat one, and so I generally do that. But James, you better be careful. TYRUS is coming for your spot. Just putting it out there. So TYRUS, tonight I'm having some drinks. I'm enjoying some Johnny Walker Blue with a Tommy Bahama ice cube in my Tommy Bahama Disney shirt. We've also got Israel checking in. Welcome to the show.
What's up, brother?
So you drinking anything over there yourself?
Yes, sir. I am enjoying the Hennessy Pure White.
Ah, very good, very good. And Israel's a first timer as well. Well, welcome to the show. Give us a like and subscribe, of course. TYRUS, you're bringing people to the show. James certainly doesn't do that. So just saying, we might have to keep you around.
Let me tell you something. Israel is a character, man. That's one of my brothers right there. I work with him. We carpool, all that good stuff. We're so close that he gave me COVID. Yeah.
Oh,
thanks, Israel.
Yeah, very nice. And another Newark Memorial alumni checking in, Mr. Matt Murray. How's it going? Good to see you. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, sir?
And James is about to take off, so safe flight. We'll see you next week, maybe, unless I decide to fire you. Who knows? Um,
Brenda is drinking with us, sir.
yes,
Yes.
White Zinfandel. Very nice, very nice. So, Tyrus, because you're not necessarily known to everyone, let's give a little background, shall we? So, you and I, we go way back.
Way back. We met at Ohlone College in the theater program. And we became friends rather quickly.
Mhm.
And then we also worked together at Dave and Buster's for a number of years within a couple of departments. And then we actually both worked for now known as Bowmore Lanes.
Mhm. Yes, at the time it was called Strike, and then they became the largest bowling company in the world. And Tyrus and I, we've had our ups and downs. We're on the upswing, so that's always a good thing. And I'm happy to have you back around. I know, it's great to have you here. It's great. Some of the things that we've done together, though, a lot of theater. And for those of you that are here, I'm going to have a
Oh,
special clip in just a little while. I'm not going to do it right now, and I'll probably do it twice just in case anybody misses it.
oh my
Um,
God.
but I've got a special clip. There won't be any audio just because I don't want to deal with any potential copyright issues. But we'll talk over the video just because it's hilarious, and it is of Tyrus. It's a Tyrus breakdown of a show we did together, West Side Story, back in I believe 2002 at the
Before I
Ohlone
grew my
College.
gut. Oh no.
Uh oh, I think we've got a sister checking in.
That is my sister.
Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Glad you're here. So, yes, stick around because that clip will be coming from West Side Story, Tyrus in 2002. How old were you back then?
In 2002, I suck at math, bro. I was in my 20s, about
Okay.
24-ish, 23, 24-ish.
That sounds about right. And the last time we did anything together theatrically, I believe was 2006. We were in the Fantastics.
Yes.
And we've talked about this before on the show. We got to play a couple old men, and that was kind of fun. I'd love to find some video footage of that, especially you and I doing some, two of the duets that we had together. That'd be kind of fun. So if anybody out there has a copy of the Fantastics from Ohlone College Amphitheater in 2006, send it our way. But ultimately, you're here. We're gonna
Yes,
do
sir.
some of our normal stuff where we talk about content that's out there for people to enjoy that we find interesting and entertaining. And before we dive into that, though, I'm also tonight going to be drinking some Seagram's Escapes, and this is called Italian Ice Blue Raspberry. It is very delicious. I have had it before. Um, so if you can find them, they're about gone. They're red, white, and blue.
Mm. And
Very
I,
delicious.
sir, am not a big fan of IPAs, but I am drinking also a little something, something.
Ah, a little
And
something, something.
I'll put it to you like this: this IPA has a citrusy like aftertaste to it that I actually like. So this is one IPA that I actually would drink.
Well, and really quickly, just because I like to be a man of my word and prove that I actually have this content that we're going to show in a little later, I'm going to tease just a moment of it for everybody out there to see.
Oh my
Uh,
god, dude!
so just a moment, as I said.
Oh my
So uh, that is Tyrus in going with his predator look. So we'll come back to that. Don't worry. That was just a little tease. If you're listening after the fact in podcast format, I apologize. You're gonna have to come watch the show on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you want. Um, so it is real. I've got the whole video, but I cut it down just to some of the highlights of Tyrus, and I like to deliver on what people ask for here. So I like to give people what
oh
they
my
want.
god!
So we'll do this all night, I guess, because people want to see it. So it's coming. It's coming. So let's start. Let's dive on in. The first thing I want to talk about tonight is I used to be a really big fan of SNL. Going back to the days of your Chris Farley's and Chris Rock's and you know, all the big names that have come out of SNL. Uh, and even now, I've watched it the last couple of seasons. I have found it hard to digest at times. It's been, frankly, quite painful at times. But
Hmm.
uh, they've had a huge shakeup this summer. I don't know if you heard, but they lost a ton of their cast. A lot of the long-term people that have been around for years are gone. Really, the only senior talent that's still around is uh, Keen, Keenan Thompson, he's not going anywhere. He's been doing it. He's the longest tenured of all time. So, but ultimately, there was this last week, there was a host, Brendan Gleeson. Some of you may know who he is. If you don't, Mad Eye Moody in the Harry
Harry
Potter
Potter.
films. But they did a promo trailer for this episode where he is riding around on a skateboard messing with security, and it's absolutely hilarious. It is probably hands down the best promo I've seen. And Matt Murray calls out Dana Carvey, Mike Myers. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Those two guys. And just to tangent just for a moment, it is rumored and likely to be confirmed here in the very near future that Mike Myers is coming back as Austin Powers. So I'm excited for that.
In
But
a movie?
yes,
Or
yes, Netflix movie. He just finished. I don't know if you saw, but the mini series, if you will, I believe it's called the Pentaverte. Um, and he did. It was a very Austin Powers esque film because he played a ton of characters, and it was a lot of fun. And so that kind of really sparked part of the reason he had stepped away from Shrek and from Austin Powers, because he had an option to just keep doing a film a year or two, but he had kids and he wanted to be a father, kind of like Garth Brooks did many, many years ago. And now Garth Brooks is back and killing it, going on worldwide tours. And so I'm hoping Mike Myers comes back and, yeah, he's a little bit older, but
same thing with, hey, you're never too old to get back in the seat. I mean, Rick Moranis is the epitome of that. I mean, I respect the man for retiring to take care of his kids when his wife passed away, but now he's coming back.
yeah. Yeah, I love Rick Moranis. And they're supposedly remaking Little Shop of Horrors, and I am hoping they get him to come play Mushnik, because that would just bring everything full circle.
Oh, yes.
And sounds like Matt is excited for Austin Powers. But anyways, back to this promo. Tyrus, did you see it?
Yes, I did. And I was trying to figure out if that really was him riding a skateboard, but yeah, it was him.
My understanding is that was legitimately him popping those tricks, and yeah, I don't know. Like I said, SNL has been a pretty big disappointment the last few years, frankly. And I have not watched this episode yet. I probably will watch it tomorrow. Um, but I'm excited because if he's even half as funny as he is in that promo, and that's probably not, that's a lot of him, I'm guessing. I think it could be a good episode.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I stopped watching SNL a long time ago. I really like the vintage stuff. I mean, hands down, like my favorite SNL clip would have to be the job interview with Chevy. Oh my God, you're putting it back up. Hey, I was looking good back then. It would be Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor in the job interview one, and Richard Pryor actually wrote that, and
Mhm.
and Chevy Chase did not want to drop the N bomb, but he finally did. It turned out to be one of my all time favorite skit in SNL.
Yeah,
Vintage.
and it sounds like your phone's blowing up over there.
Uh, I guess it was that was my mother.
Ah,
I
well,
will call her back when we are done.
or she could just tune in and she can chat to you up on here. Matt Murray, last 5 years of SNL has just stunk. Yeah, more or less. I tend to agree. There have been a couple of good sketches where I've literally laughed out loud, but in general, it's been a bit of a letdown.
I tend to just watch when specific people show up now. Like when Dave Chappelle shows up, I'll watch it. The when Eddie Murphy showed up out of the blue, just after a long time, I actually enjoyed that episode. But that's pretty much it for me.
And here we see TYRUS getting his butt kicked in a gang fight. Oh wow, you really telegraphed that one, didn't you?
Hey, you were part of this too, sir. You're just not showing yourself as of
Oh no,
yet.
you're absolutely right. I'm not. Um, so something I did this last week since our last episode at Tyrus's request, when I first said, "Hey, if there's anything you want to talk about, let me know, and we can throw it into the show." And you told me that you wanted to talk about Cobra Kai, and
Yes.
and
Yes, sir.
I had not seen a single episode of Cobra Kai as of last Monday. And I can now say I have watched every episode in existence to date.
Have you watched the three? Well, I'm just saying the three main Karate Kid movies.
Oh yeah, of course. And
Okay.
that Will Smith produced garbage doesn't count. So
Okay, but there is okay, so that's like off some other universe. There is a fourth movie called The Next Karate Kid, and that was starring Hilary Swank,
yes,
which was trash too, but she's
I am.
up.
I'm really surprised that so far in this series they haven't found a way to bring her in because I feel like she could be incorporated because Pat Morita was involved in that one.
Yeah, she was trained by Mr. Miyagi as well.
Mhm.
So the way, I mean, I'm not sure if you understand how this whole series went out, but it actually was not a Netflix series. It
Originally, it was Sony
it was
purely.
it was on YouTube TV.
Hmm.
So that's the first two seasons. And then they canceled the show, and Netflix purchased the streaming rights, and it quickly became their top show. Um, so they purchased the show, and Netflix, the first Netflix Cobra Kai was the third season. And that's when they started incorporating the majority of the Karate Kid 2 movie into that third
Hmm.
season. And then season 4, they added in aspects of Karate Kid 3.
Yeah, I can definitely say if you're if you've enjoyed or hell even if you didn't necessarily full on enjoy, but if you liked the Karate Kid films, the original three, um, I think you would enjoy this. It's very nostalgic callback. Seeing some of these people, especially the ones that show up for like one or two episodes, like in season four when we saw Chosen.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I was not at all expecting him to come back for an entire season. I so it was great to see, and it's the same actors who were in these films 20 plus years ago, and so there's that nostalgia feel, especially also when they brought in Silver, was not expecting that either. Um, Especially to be brought in as big and pivotal as a character as they did. And I'm not going to spoil anything because I know that season five just recently dropped about a month ago. But I, I've got to say, I've heard both sides. I've heard that that's the end. I've also heard that it's not, and they left it open. I think it could go either way. It could be
It
a
was
solid
left
ending.
wide open. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It could be. If it ended, it gave us an ending. It doesn't have. You don't have to do anything else. But if it does continue to go on, and I think it could, I think there's enough well fleshed out characters, and there's enough of a storyline that was set up in season five that season six is easily writable.
So here's the rumor mill. There is going to be a Karate Kid. Could we say 4 or 5?
Uh,
There's
well,
go- they leaked a rumor for this is going to lead to another Karate Kid movie, not a Cobra Kai movie, but Karate Kid. And it's not supposed to have anything to do with Cobra Kai, but it exists in the same universe.
so would it just focus on Daniel-san and his family, or
Um, without spoiling it, well, the last season, I would assume it would have to be with Miyagi-Do students. It can't be Cobra Kai students. It can't be Eagle Fang students. So, because they said that it's not going to be a Cobra Kai movie. So, I would assume it would be something to do with Miyagi-Do.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard about the movie aspect. I think I'd prefer another season uh,
Yes.
over a film because I feel like a lot of the stories that they told in this series, if they tried to squeeze it into one, two, three films, it just wouldn't be as good. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed the series to date. There were moments where it was kind of like too hokey, too 80s, too cheesy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
too obvious as to what was going to happen. But I think you can overlook that if you just sit back and enjoy it for what it is. Obviously there's some extremely unrealistic things that happen, but
Yeah.
huge mass karate brawls breaking out in a high school.
In Beverly Hills High or something. That's where they were.
Yeah. So could it happen? I guess. I mean, you hear today a lot about these huge brawls that are breaking out in schools, but I don't know. I mean,
I look at it as it's it's something for our generation, the Gen X, um, some millennials, but mostly Gen X, for us to just get that nostalgia factor going. But there's enough content and material to keep our children or teenagers involved in the show too. Like there's stuff for them too. So we as a family can actually sit down and watch the show and both of us enjoy.
yeah, I agree. And just a quick reminder out there for everyone, this is a live and interactive broadcast. So if you are just tuning in, for the millions of people watching right now, please feel free to send us messages. Let us know what you're thinking. It is October 10th, and we do have footage of Tyrus in a sheer top, looking
Oh man.
fabulous in
Hey,
that
I was
scene.
looking good right there, bro.
Uh,
Don't hate. I was
no, you looked fabulous, friend. Absolutely. And
and then I became a bus driver. Look at me now. Yeah.
yeah, sitting in a chair all day.
Yeah.
So, something that we hadn't talked about before now is recently you got back into acting,
Yes,
and
sir. Yes, I
and
did.
and a lot of that has been voice acting, and you are uh, pretty involved with a show that I produce called Murphy's Inc. And you're doing some voice acting in that show, and
Thank you, Israel, by the way. Israel's giving me love. I got it.
he's dead sexy like fat bastard. Um, and so obviously Murphy's Inc. We're having a lot of fun over there. We wrap principal recordings on season one. We're in post production. It's going to air before the end of this year. We're targeting the last 6 weeks of the year for season one, and now we're working on a new show called Radio Story Hour, and
Mhm.
specifically one episode that you've been involved with and you've recorded so far, called Captain Fearless and the Time Traveling Nazis of Doom.
Yes, I love the show. It's I when I got the script, I loved it. It I can't spoil it for anyone. It is what it is. We're dealing with time traveling Nazis. So I mean it says that in the
Of Doom.
title of Doom. Yeah. And I read it and I at first I was like, there's really nowhere when you look at me, there's nowhere for me to be in this production, but you
It's
guys had
voice
faith in
acting
me. That's voice acting for you. I have a face for radio, ladies and gentlemen.
all the way back
um,
to Ohlone College.
yes, sir. But you guys had faith in me, and I had the ability to bring out two characters and three different voices, and it was a little rough, but we got through it. And I can't wait to hear this. I really can't wait to hear this story unfold. It's going to be great, guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And you are actually involved in another show that's a part of Radio Story Hour called From the Jack R. Abbott Files Murder by Garlic.
Yes, sir. I'll be playing a guy named Munch.
Yes, I believe an ex football player who's a little bit brain dead. So that's right up your alley.
Yes.
So I'm joking about the brain dead part. I don't know. Uh, you might be, but yeah, at the auditions, I think you did a very good job, and I know for me, it was pretty cut and dry, and I think for James it was the same thing. And James is directing the other show that Tyrus is in, so no nepotism here, I promise. You earned your spot. Uh, but yeah, I'm excited to get to work with you in that capacity, and I hope you're enjoying it. And season 2 of Murphy's, I think we're gonna have some fun with you again in there. And um,
It's an
yeah.
honor to be brought back. And
And Brenda's asking, how many movies have you done voice acting?
well, let's see. There's Murphy's Inc. That was my very first. And during the recording of Murphy's Inc., I was blessed with an opportunity to join the cast of Secrets of Harwich House, which is number 2. And I just finished recording Captain Fearless and the Time Traveling Nazis of Doom. And I will soon be recording Murder by Garlic. So there you have it.
So you'll have 4 major voice acting credentials very soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, it's nice when we have the ability to bring in people, and we are going to be doing season 2 of Murphy's Inc. We're going to be doing auditions in the near future. Tyrus is already in; he doesn't have to audition. But if anybody out there is watching or listening to this, you are, of course, if you got the bug, I'll tell you, the guy who's playing my lead in Captain Fearless has never acted before. Period. This is his first time. He's never done voiceover, he's never done stage, he's never done film, TV, anything. And he's got a good unique voice, and he's talented for somebody who has never done it before. So, it's awesome when we can find people like that and give them the opportunity. And that's one of the big things over at 97 to Now Productions, that they're really trying to
Every time we
they're really trying to find good, talented people that haven't had an opportunity, and bring them to the forefront. They're producing short stories, they're producing podcasts, they're producing audio dramas. They're looking to try and shine a spotlight on lesser known talent and provide them with opportunities.
And for those of you that are watching this for the first time, whenever we say that specific production company, that happens on the screen. So yeah.
Yes, they let me have so much control, but then they tend to take over once in a while. So, and Brenda asks, which one did you enjoy more?
Oh, good question. You know what? The guys at Murphy's Inc. really, really embraced me. I got it. That's my baby. That is my baby. That is my first official voice acting position.
Imagine, if you will, that anything from the annals of time can be yours within the span of 7 to 14 business days.
That's where Murphy's Inc. comes in. We offer an unlimited selection of the most precious and exotic relics from our history. It can all be yours.
For a price.
Yep. Yeah. That one right there, up there. Yeah, that one is the winner for me. Mainly, I'll put it to you this way. I actually thought I bombed the audition. And Mark told me that I didn't bomb the audition. I actually got a call back, and it was kind of weird. My callback was I can't get into the extreme details, but I was reading for a character that had not been announced yet, and it ended up that I read it enough that I actually loved the character so much that I got that specific character, and I went from being on maybe 1 or 2 episodes to being in, what is it, like 4 of the 6?
3 or 4 of the 6, yeah. I think
Yeah,
you're right. I think it's 4 out of the 6, yeah.
and in the end, like Mark has already said, I've already been welcomed back for season 2. So Murphy's Inc. will forever be my baby. And yeah, so um I'm not going to put them in order, but yeah, Murphy's Inc. sits at the top right now.
And we've got our damn designated audience member, by the way, for those of you wondering, Mr. Brian Allen Hobbs checking in, and he asks, so does that production company's music play, do they play that automatically, or do you have to manually play it when you say it? Amazingly enough, I think they just kind of override the show. Somebody must be sitting in a room watching us or something, and they hear it and they're like, "Oh, I got to push the button."
We will call them the moderator.
Well, and because there are some times that we say 97 to now and absolutely nothing happens, and I'm hoping that's the case right now. There are other times where we'll say it 2 or 3 times and it happens every single time. So it's hard to know when it's going to happen.
The last time I was on the show, I dropped it and it played.
Yeah. So you got to be careful. So yeah, welcome back to the acting game, TYRUS. It's great to have you back, and let's continue on with some content. So you wanted to talk about this one specifically,
Yes.
an upcoming comedy Netflix series called Blockbuster.
I can't wait for this. I really can't wait for this. Here's the thing. My first job, a lot of the people from the Bay Area, our first job was Great America. Now, when I was first working there, it was Paramount's Great America. Of course, Paramount also owned Blockbuster.
Mhm.
So when Great America went down for the off season, they gave the opportunity to send their employees to work at their local Blockbuster. And so I actually worked at Blockbuster for a rather long time. After I was done with Great America, I went back to Blockbuster because I loved having 5 free rentals a week.
I didn't know that, by the way. You mentioned this before, and I was like, seriously? You guys got to rent 5 movies a week?
We got 5 free rentals a week, and we got a discount if we rented again during that week. And also, when the movies came in, like say the newest, hottest movie was going to get released on Tuesday, right? We would get them like a week prior so that we could set up the boxes and everything else. We could rent those movies.
Oh, wow.
So I got to watch movies a week ahead of time. That's back in the day when we didn't have no streaming, no streaming apps or nothing like that. So it's like, yeah, if you didn't watch it in the theater, you had to wait like a year for it to come to video. And so that's where that stepped in. And I am definitely going to watch this show. I'm excited for it. Hell, I still remember my ID, my Blockbuster ID number, and it's a long one.
Damn. I have the biggest affinity that I have and remembrance I have of Blockbuster is they, for a couple of years, they were hosting the national video game competition where you'd go in and you'd play a couple of games and you'd compete locally, and then if you did well enough, you'd move on to a regional and so on and so forth. And I remember competing in those a couple of times, and I also, of course, remember Blockbuster for VHSs. I don't remember them so much for anything beyond then. And we've got Cynthia checking in. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing, Cynthia?
And I think the concept of Blockbuster and what was the other one? Warehouse that used to be around back then. A Hollywood Video as
Hollywood
well.
Video, yeah.
I think those were good concepts, especially for people who unfortunately didn't have the money to go buy movies and wanted to watch a lot of movies. You don't really, I mean, yeah, you can go on to Amazon or a couple of other sites and you can rent a movie for like $2.99, but I don't know. Today in this day and age, it just doesn't really seem worth it. And Matt Murray used to love renting games from Blockbuster, and I did the same a lot. And back then,
That was the best thing about Blockbuster, renting a game. So a brand new game comes out, you go buy it, you get to have it for a couple of days, right? And then you bring it back. So when that happens, you get to see whether that game sucked or not. And then that's what I did. And then I bought it if I liked it.
or sometimes I would just do the re-rent, where you go in, they scan it, you take it back out, and finish it. Especially as we got into later consoles where there were save features because the games got crazy big and long. You go back to like Sega and Nintendo and stuff like that, where you could play through an entire game in a couple of hours. Brian is disappointed, though. He was hoping Agent Wu would get his own MCU series, and that could still happen. Don't give up on that. I personally, and for life of me, I can't remember the actor's name right now. I should know this, but he is also on Young Rock, and I love him in that show. Have you watched that one, TYRUS?
I actually have not. I haven't watched Young Rock. There's so many shows out there that I watch, and I, believe it or not, have just started watching content on Peacock. So it's on my list.
Okay. Well, Randall Park. There we go. Thank you, Brian. I can always rely on Brian to bring it.
You know what's funny about this, though? It's on Netflix, and Netflix was the death of Blockbuster.
So that's what we call irony, right?
Yeah.
I think
exactly.
For me, I'm excited to watch this show as well, mostly because of who it's being made by, which are the creators and writers of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Loved that show. And also the creators and writers for, what's the other one? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank now. I have to go back and watch the trailer.
I saw Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the trailer, and I did not see if there was another one.
Yeah, I'm like totally.
But while Mark figures that out, if you guys haven't seen the trailer to this, it's basically during the end of Blockbuster. All the locations are being shut down, and this specific store ends up being the last Blockbuster in the world.
And the other show I was thinking of is Superstore, which I also very much enjoyed.
I've never watched that one.
It's a good series. It's basically a play on Walmart. So,
I might check that out.
Yeah, so it's enjoyable as well, and I can see that. And Melissa I believe it's Fumero, who's the female right here next to Randall Park. She was the female lead, I would say, in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So, yeah, I'm excited, looking forward to that show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see it. And of course, I am going to be calling out all of the BS that's not accurate when it's never accurate anywhere.
Naturally. And I do have to very quickly, I have to throw this up just because we've had a guest on here before, Romeo Marquez Jr., who we just saw there on screen for a moment. And
wait a minute, Mark.
Yeah, that's Romeo.
You. That's you on the far right, bro. That's you on the far right.
Yes, that is me down in the front right of the scene, and I wanted to go back to this.
James in the back.
James is there, and of course TYRUS in his sheer top, looking so fly.
Yes, sir.
And we'll come back to this momentarily. And I'll play this more and in its entirety in a little bit, so don't worry, stick around if you've missed any of it. Let's talk about something that I watched this last week that I guess you didn't, and I'm disappointed. And I'm not going to get too spoilery on it just for your sake, but I absolutely enjoyed this last episode of Andor. It was a good episode. It was not a great episode. Um, and just going back to the last point, Cynthia says, Tyrus, you need to watch Superstore. Super good show. Nice play on
I will
words.
give it a shot. I will give it a shot.
Yes. So Andor, set in the Star Wars universe. If you haven't been watching it and you've got Disney Plus, go give it a watch. It's definitely a different feel in the Star Wars world. Tyrus, what are your initial thoughts? You haven't seen the most recent episode, but
I'm giving it my best because I absolutely loved Rogue One. This show has its moments, but as of right now, for the Star Wars series, it is my least favorite. I have expressed that to you. Um, it's really slow for me. I understand what it's leading to, but it kind of, how can I put it? I actually talked to Mark about this in the first 3 episodes. I had almost let it go. But I knew something was coming because they released that first fight scene when the two of the protagonists met, and they had I don't want to ruin it for other people. And then they had for a sale, but he was actually recruiting. He was actually being recruited. Um, that scene had my attention, and I was waiting for that to happen. When it finally happened, I thought the show was going to pick up, and here we go. We're going to get into some action, but this not an action flick. It's more of a suspense flick, and it's going to make you think. And I love a good suspense flick that makes you think, but I went into this thinking that it was something else. So I was a little let down, but I'm still giving it a chance.
like I said, I mean, it is definitely a different Star Wars type of series and feel. It's very much about the palace intrigue. It's very much about the spy ops. Um, I I like it for what it is. I think if you go in with the mentality of watching a standard Star Wars film with a lot of action and whatnot, you're going to be disappointed. I think if
Mhm.
you go in with the mentality of this is establishing Rogue One, which then established obviously Episode 4, and then the whole Skywalker saga, so to speak. Um, I I'm just like I said, I'm looking at it for what it is, and I very much enjoy it. It is a bit of a letdown in the action department for sure, but if you just sit there and you take in the dialogue and you take in the scenes that are happening, and as long as you're able to stay focused, I think it's a really good series. I think if you're watching it, and I'll speak to James for example, when he watches these kinds of shows, he's usually doing something else too, like playing on his phone or whatever. And this is not a series that you can do that with. You have
You
to
have
be,
to listen, pay attention. You really
yeah.
have to pay attention.
So I think for me, uh, it's it's good. I really like it for what it is, and I think I really like it because it is different than everything else that's been done Star Wars wise. It is definitely an outside of the box feel. So, and one spoiler I'm going to give away from this most recent episode, and I apologize, but you're going to see it soon. The star, the absolute star, the highlight of this episode, cereal. So if
That
you
looks so good, dude.
if you haven't seen it, go watch it and you'll get it. If you have seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. And finally, for those of you that have been to Disneyland since Star Wars Land is open, hopefully you've had the opportunity to partake in the either blue or green milk. And in this episode, we see some blue milk. So yeah.
These will end up at Disney at some point.
Oh, they have to. Disney or the Star Wars Twitter page, Instagram, everything. They already posted a video of how to make these cereal bars. So yeah, it's you know, it, That's why I say this. This was absolutely the highlight, the star of the episode. Cynthia says it's all about that blue milk. Have only had the green milk. I have not gotten to partake in the blue milk. I will be doing that the next time I head down.
Believe it or not, I failed. Last time I was there, I did not have any of the milk. But in my defense, I ran out of time because I was hitting my time point to go make my lightsaber. And yeah.
And Brian says, and yet the cereal is played as the worst thing for a character. Very profound. Very good. So yeah, I'm excited to go back to Disneyland, and James and I have talked about this on the show. And TYRUS, I'm hoping you're going to want to join us. We're going to go back sometime late next year. We're targeting right around November, mid-November, probably that week before Thanksgiving.
Look, my boy Israel put me on to those hot link corn dogs, and I kind of challenged you to eat one, and you ate one like a trooper. And yeah, whenever there's an opportunity for me to head back to California Adventure and have a hot link corn dog, I'm down.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll have to take on a challenge that I present to you. So
as long as it doesn't include fish, I'm happy.
See, you shouldn't have said that, because now it's going to have to. Speaking of terrible things, here's TYRUS dancing, getting his booty kicked.
Hey, I'm getting down, bruh. I'm getting down. Don't hate.
So for those of you that have been watching throughout the episode, you've seen the entire clip now. But I will play it in its entirety in a little bit.
That was America right there. That was the song America, yeah.
Indeed it was. And let's shift gears a little bit, and let's talk about some video games. I posted some of this stuff up on the page, some new video games that are going to be coming out here in the very near future. Settlers of Catan console edition.
Yes. I cannot wait for this. I've played it on the board game, and it's an awesome game. If you guys haven't played it, it was actually featured on one of my favorite TV shows, Big Bang Theory. They made a big joke about it. Not going to get into it though. There's even a Star Trek edition.
Yep, there are many different editions, but yes, the Star Trek is of course the original series. I enjoy Catan. I've played it a few times. I don't think I've played it as many as you. I watched the trailer for this, and one of the board games that's out there in a console format, Risk, is a lot of fun to play online with people around the world, and so I imagine this will be equally as fun.
Oh yes, and Risk is. I mean, actually, you and I have played many games of Risk. And they have lasted hours. Yeah.
You're never going to want to play a game of Risk with my wife, and Brian can speak to that as well, because he was involved one time in a game of Risk with my wife, and that
why is that?
That did not go well, and I hear her yelling in the house, I think, at me. So I'll move on.
Challenge accepted. I'll be in Reno in a couple weeks, man. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm all on board, and I have Risk. I just don't know if we'll get her to play, so we can definitely try. And Brenda asks, I don't really know a lot of games, but is it better than 7 Days? And
no,
7 Days to Die.
7 Days to Die is the game, especially when you're playing with friends. It is the game.
Yes, TYRUS was trying to sell me on the game earlier. It is available on all platforms. I can get it right now for free on Xbox, and because I have not Games with Gold, I have whatever it's called, Ultimate. I don't know if it does cross console though, so I don't know if we'd be able to play together if I did get it.
I've never attempted it, but I play it on Steam.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters. Ever since GoldenEye, I kind of lost any love because GoldenEye was so amazing. Still, to me, the standard bearer.
Well, this game has a tribute. We have a mod that we're playing right now. It has a tribute to GoldenEye.
Oh, Well, that
Like
might.
like our guns are straight golden. It's and when you're leveling, these guns are killer. Like you just, it's a zombie apocalypse game, and kind of like the golden eye, you shoot someone with this gun, it's over for that zombie.
The golden gun, one shot.
But like Cynthia says, it is so much more than a first person shooter. Yeah, there is a lot going on in this game. Of course, Cynthia plays it, Brenda plays it, my buddy Israel and my buddy Mike, we all play together, and we all have our jobs that we do. And I'm the scavenger. I love going out and scavenging for supplies and then bringing them back. And Israel is more like the engineer, so he takes the resources that I bring back, and I hate running around. It takes forever, so he builds motorcycles. Now we have motorcycles. You have to, your nourishment, your water, your food, everything. Cynthia does that. And Brenda runs around as a scavenger as well, and she also is like the protector of anyone that goes mining for stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this game that you have to survive, and you have 7 days to build your base, build your defenses, because a zombie apocalypse is coming. You're about to get hit with, like, hundreds of zombies at once, and they're going to destroy your base and try to kill you. So so you got to build that base up and build your weapons and build your ammunition and protect yourself. And then when that's all said and done, you got another 7 days before they come back.
So do you guys have any like live streams or anything where we can come and watch what you're doing? Or
You know what, we have the ability to do so, but at the same time, the stuff that we're saying and doing in the game wouldn't cut it.
fair enough.
I mean, we're all adults here, so like, yeah, there's a couple of f-bombs or thrown around when, I don't know, you're digging for some treasure and someone comes from behind and starts chewing you up, and you're like, screaming at everyone else to come help you. So yeah.
And Israel says 7 days on console's no good. PC much better because on console no one is updating. Fair enough. Well, let's talk about another game that is coming out in the near future, and that's Gotham Knights. I've loved the past Arkham games with Batman, Arkham Origins, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and the impression that I have from watching this trailer and hearing about the game in general is that it is not necessarily a continuation of the Arkham series, even though this game seems as though it's going to start off with the passing of Bruce Wayne or the Batman, and now all of these other people that
supposedly, right?
Yes, I'm thinking supposedly. You've got the Robin, you've got the Red Hood, you've got Batgirl. Excuse me,
Nightwing,
and so they're all kind of picking up the mantle, and you can see the mantle down here in the reflection of the Batman, and it seems as though they're picking up where Batman has left off and going to protect Gotham. And I hear the voices of the characters, and they sound like a lot of the same voice actors as in the Arkham series. But for example, Batgirl is the Oracle in the Arkham series and has already been shot, isn't able to walk, and so this does not appear to be Barbara Gordon. And if it is, then again, like I said, it must be taking place outside of the Arkham universe.
It's not Batwoman?
Could be, very well. I don't think the commercial or trailer necessarily made it clear. So, yeah.
And Robin, that's Tim Drake, right? It has to be Tim Drake.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, I liked the trailer. I felt like it was catchy enough. the thing that I'm most interested about this game is seeing some gameplay in. Are there going to be specific missions where you can only play as Robin or you can only play as Nightwing, or can you choose whoever you want throughout the game? And is it going to be completely open world, kind of as the Arkham games have been? I don't know. They haven't given enough away in that regard. What did you think of the trailer?
That I mean, just to piggyback on what you said, it would be really cool if you got to pick a specific character and they each have their own storyline and they kind of interwove in between each other's story to complete. That way you get like almost 4 different games.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the last Batman game that I actually played was Arkham Knights. And even though I enjoyed it, I did enjoy Arkham Knights. I didn't go any further than that. And so when I saw this and I saw they had a little bit of the gameplay, I'm sitting there wondering, like, is this really going to be in the game? Is it going to really look like that? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, should I give this one another chance? Because this game the other games aside from Arkham Knights did not interest me. This one actually does. So I'm wondering, and if there's that aspect of giving 4 different points of view, I'm sold, and I will purchase the game.
I'm now moving on to a new Seagram's Escape Italian Ice. This is the cherry flavor.
I'm still drinking something.
Babysitting over there.
I have no choice. I have to work tomorrow, and I tend not to drink on a day that I go to work. So.
Fair enough. Even though what time do you work tomorrow?
10:48 a.m. Oh, okay. But when you have a commercial license, like
you can't risk it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Sticking in the video game world, but shifting gears just a twinge, and let's talk about a movie trailer that came out. I believe it's a movie, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
It's a movie.
The Last of Us. So you were just talking about 7 Days to Die, post-apocalyptic zombies, and now we can talk about The Last of Us. I have never played the game. Have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Of course, it's a zombie apocalypse game, of course. But here's the thing. Our main character, everyone assumes that this little girl is his daughter. She is not. If you've played the game, you know that his daughter actually dies. And he was tasked to bring this specific girl to somewhere else. And they kind of created a bond in a relationship. And so everyone that sees them together assume that they're father and daughter. But this is going to be like Cynthia said, it's a TV show. It's going to be a series on HBO Max, and I am extremely excited for this. I have not finished. There's 2 games I have not finished. I got to a point where I got stuck, and I usually will put the game down for a little bit, and then I go back to it and finish it up. But the one thing that really got me going was if you watch the trailer, you will see one of the clickers. And that's a zombie. You really can't see their face. It's just a big mesh, but they're making this clicking sound. And in that game, when you hear one of those, if you're not up in level, you got a GTFO. Like, those zombies are terrible. Like, whatever limited ammunition you have, it's not going to work on them unless you are good at aiming. And so they put one of those clickers in the trailer. Looks like a clicker, sounds exactly like a clicker, and I am extremely excited for this show.
Right on. Yeah, like I said, I watched the trailer. I'm not a big zombie guy, honestly. I've tried over the years, off and on, play zombie games, watch zombie films. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not because I don't know why. I feel like it's a bit overdone, frankly. And I think maybe that's why I'm just being the anti in that regard. I don't know. I'll probably watch it just because, if it's good and you're interested in stuff, I'll give it a go and see. But I'm probably not going to go back and play the game just because.
It's not your cup of tea, I know.
Yeah.
But it's a really good game. Of course, I'm stuck on a part that just irritates me, but I will get through it. I actually buckled down and watched a video on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, that's what you got to do. Of course, it involves the clickers, but still.
All right, so we're going to watch a clip right now of TYRUS in
gosh.
West Side Story at Ohlone College back in 2002 in its entirety. Enjoy. Let's talk. So TYRUS, tell us what's going on here. We've had this gentleman on the show in the past, Joe Magdalena, chasing some girls. Looks like you're picking a fight with a little white blonde kid.
I want to say this is the opening number of West Side Story.
Yes, this is.
Yeah. So in this, my hair is in question in this show. Those are not dreadlocks. I actually got my hair braided, and I had extensions to make them look like dreadlocks. That's what the director wanted. And I was a pretty big guy, and I could take a hit. So, I mean, we're not really hitting each other, but when it comes to like hitting the floor and all that other good stuff, I could do that pretty well. So that's why they always had me in those fight scenes.
Yes, and of course you were a shark, mostly because the sharks don't really sing much in the show.
Hey, we sing. We have the best number in the show, bro. Come on. America, come on. I was supposed to kick him in the butt, but I kicked him in the nether regions. I remember I got a note on that. They're like, you're supposed to kick him in the butt, TYRUS. I'm like, my bad.
Yeah, not in the crotch. So yes, there's some good old footage of TYRUS, West Side Story, 2002 Ohlone College Amphitheater, Summerfest, which is coming back, by the way, or it came back this last summer. I don't know if you saw.
They did Rent. Yeah.
Yes, made its big comeback. Did you go? Did you happen to see the show?
I did not. I really wanted to, but I just couldn't go back. I didn't want to. I'll see a lot of people that are still there. It's been a long time, and even though that it was a pivotal part of my life, and it kind of, that theater company really sucks you in, and you give a huge chunk of your life to them. And I kind of felt like if I would have went there and saw everyone, and they're like, what are you doing right now? And I'd be like, you know what, let's get back into it. And I don't have time for it right now. I actually have moved on, and I really enjoy voice acting right now, and I want to focus on that.
Yeah, and Brian says it made its comeback because they bailed on Stage One from their past partnership, and Stage One's a local community theater in the Bay Area that worked with Ohlone because Ohlone was more or less begging a theater company to come work with them to help half produce or half pay for shows to be done in the amphitheater because there wasn't a big calling for it. And they did a couple shows. They did Ragtime and a couple other shows I don't remember now, but that did pretty well, and it helped, I think, Ohlone make some money, put some money in the coffers to really try and do some amphitheater stuff. And post COVID, they did it, and we'll see if it continues on. But they did kind of backhand Stage One a little bit, which I find unfortunate, especially having been a past board member for Stage One. So anyways, let's move on and continue talking about video games that are being turned into movies. Of course, this one has already been done before, but this is now going to be animated. the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes. Yes.
I love the animation. I love that it feels like, Mario 64 and a lot of the animation style we've seen in the game since then. But aside from that,
Some of the voice actors aren't going to be that great.
yeah, I was not very keen on a lot of the voice acting. I yeah.
We didn't get much from the trailer on the voice acting. We got vocals from was it Carmack, Bowser. I don't know who that penguin dude was, but okay, and Mario and Toad. That was just about it. Toad sounds like Toad. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. In every other aspect, whether it be cartoon, video game, or movie, Toad has pretty much sounded the same. And so I really am not gonna hate on Toad. Bowser did not sound like Bowser to me. I could have had a deeper voice, could have had someone let him sound more menacing, but he didn't. And of course, Mario. A lot of people, well, when I say a lot of people, I'm meaning like Gen Z. Hate to say it, are mad at the fact that Chris Pratt is playing Mario and does not sound like Mario. But I mean, let's just be real about it. They're looking for Nintendo 64 Mario when they actually put vocals onto Mario in the game.
No, you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for Captain Lou Albano.
That's what I'm talking about. The Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And that's what was it like? That's about 86, 87 when it first came out. That was like, what was it? Every Monday to Thursday was Mario Brothers, and every Friday was Legend of Zelda. I actually owned the first season. That's the first time we've actually heard Mario with dialogue, and he sounded like a plumber from New York. He didn't sound like,
an Italian plumber from New York.
Yeah. He didn't sound the whole "it's me, Mario," all that stuff. No, he didn't sound like that. If you guys don't know who Captain Lou is, look at your old school WWF footage. I mean, WWF, not EF. That's when he was.
Get the F back in.
Yes, Captain Lou was the guy that wore the overalls and the rubber bands in his beard. That was Mario. He even did the.
He
Mario
didn't wear
dance.
overalls. He wore a Hawaiian shirt.
He had a Hawaiian shirt on?
Yeah.
Oh no, he was wearing the overalls in this show. I'm sorry. Yeah, costume. Yeah, he had a Hawaiian shirt on, but the rubber bands in his beard. He hung out with Cyndi Lauper a lot.
Yeah, he was in multiple Cyndi Lauper videos.
Oh yeah. So the fact that Chris Pratt does not sound like the Nintendo 64 and beyond Mario, I am not mad about. We didn't get much out of him in this clip. The trailer, but not too excited about the voice actors in this one, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it. I'm still extremely unclear as to what the storyline is going to ultimately be. Aside from it appears Koopa's trying to take over different areas.
The Mushroom Kingdom.
And now Mario appears in the Mushroom Kingdom. Aside from that, there really isn't much to be made in this trailer. But yeah.
Let me give you a little bit of this, though. Put this on your mind. Now that we have an animated Mario Brothers movie, and we have an animated Pokemon movie featuring Pikachu, and we have Sonic the Hedgehog animated movies, what would you say to them at some point in some time doing a Smash Brothers movie? We're starting to line up the characters, man. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it could absolutely be done, and I think a lot of that will be dependent on how this film does. I think if Mario Brothers does extremely well in the theaters, there will be likely a sequel, and I could see them moving in that direction.
Wreck-It Ralph had other characters. I think Kirby was in Wreck-It Ralph, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, they got him. They got them.
It's possible. I think if they really want to move in that direction to do that, they have to do a Zelda film.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, I would be completely fine if they just took the storyline of Ocarina of Time and made that into a film. I think that would be amazing, and I would be on board with that. So, to me, still hands down, probably the best Zelda game of all time. Yeah, no, like I said, I'll probably watch it, but I'm not right now. I'm not hyped up. I'm not super stoked about it, and Matt is so there for a Zelda film, absolutely. Well, let's start winding down and let's move into our last topic of the evening, and that is, as we have been discussing for the last few weeks, a She-Hulk. The penultimate episode. What that means for you laymen out there is the second to last episode, not the last, but the one just before. We have the introduction of the Leapfrog. What did you think?
The Leapfrog character, I actually loved him. I loved him. I honestly think that they did not give him enough focus in the episode. I think we could have saw a whole lot more of him and what's going on.
The Leapfrog is, just to be clear, the character is the Marvel's version of Batman.
Is it really?
When you think about it, I mean, obviously he's not a hero necessarily, but he's obviously descendant of money. He's got a ton of money and decides to go out and buy some toys to supposedly fight crime.
But then there's Tony Stark, though.
Yeah, Tony Stark is not Batman. The Tony Stark Bruce Wayne, obviously same thing. Iron Man and Batman, two distinctly different personas.
Okay. Moon Knight. In the comic, he's rich, bro.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. But staying on subject. I absolutely loved this episode. Except I am not sold on Daredevil on this. Charlie Cox does come back, but granted, I understand this is Disney. It's not Netflix, and this is not the Matt Murdock and Daredevil from the Netflix series. It's not. He was a little comedic and trying to stay dark but comedic, in my opinion, and it just didn't work for me.
Well, and I think they have the easy out to say that the blip maybe brought about a change within Matt Murdock, as it did for many people around the world. We don't know if he was one of the dusted or if he was one that remained for the 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But, ultimately, I think that they have that easy out to say,
yeah,
he had a very big shift in his personality, and because of some of the events of the later seasons of Daredevil and the Defenders could have brought about changes in him as well.
What do you think about the costume?
I hated it.
I don't like the gold cowl. I don't like the gold. I like the all red that he had, man. And I didn't like his costume.
No, I didn't either. I will say, and if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry. Maybe you should go watch it. But I did love him doing the walk of shame in the costume.
That was funny. Barefoot.
Yes. That part made the costume a little bit worth it. And for those of you that are like, what the hell are they talking about? Well, Jennifer Walters, also known as She-Hulk, does the horizontal hokey pokey with Matt Murdock or Daredevil. And
people are mad about that too, by the way.
don't know why. I mean, frankly, a lot of the comics that She-Hulk is involved with, she's a bit of a tramp, frankly. Jennifer Walters is. She is known
Mhm.
for sleeping around the Marvel universe a little bit. Um,
And Daredevil was one of them.
yes, yes. So this is comic correct, if you will. It
That
might not be
people
politically correct, but it is comic correct.
people were getting angry about it, and they're like, why would you make him sleep with her and all this other stuff? And I'm like, have you not watched the Netflix series? Matt Murdock was a playboy. I mean, he was messing around with all kinds of women in the show. So like, let's not sugarcoat it. I mean, you're seeing they're trying to like kind of bring from a rated R to a borderline PG-13 for Disney Daredevil, but they're still trying to keep us into it. So I think he was quite tame, and what happened in between the two of them, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I thought it was. I mean, they telegraphed it though. It was obviously coming from the moment in the in the court to the moment in the bar. Like they telegraphed the hell out of it. But still, when it happened, I was good with it. And so we come to later in the episode where Jennifer has been nominated for Lawyer of the Year, and she goes to this ceremony to make her to hopefully win. And we have this scene of her in this lovely outfit. And one of the things that I noticed, and you don't see it in this image here, uh, I noticed in a couple of recent episodes, there are moments when this character here, Jennifer Walters' friend, has a tendency to look directly at the camera for a moment, but it is straight on. And I also noticed in this episode and another recent episode, she was wearing a necklace that was a pentagram.
Hmm.
And if you'll recall back to WandaVision, it was Agatha all along. And I am wondering if we're going to see in this season finale if this is actually our big bad. I, I'm
You
I'm
think
very
so?
I part of me does. Part of me does. Part of me thinks we're going to find out that this is another witch that maybe is in league with Agatha, because it has been announced that there will be an Agatha House of Harkness, or I think they changed that. That was the original title, but that there will be an Agatha Disney Plus series, and this could be a way to introduce another witch that could be in league with Agatha. So
I'm waiting for this season finale because that last episode kind of left us hanging.
well, and for those of you that didn't watch, I apologize, but the very end of the episode, um, she Hulk smash. She's going into a rage, and she's got guns drawn on her. We don't know what's going to happen next, but is she going to go on a citywide rampage like her cousin? Is Bruce going to reappear? Last we saw Bruce in this series, he was in outer space. So is he going to make a comeback? I don't know.
That's what I'm hoping. Like, yeah, she went into a rage and she kind of had to center herself at the very end, but she's already did the damage.
Well, and honestly, I don't know if she centered herself there. The last moment we see her, it's still not entirely clear what's necessarily going to happen in the next 30 seconds. So I suspect this next episode is going to pick up right where this last episode left off. So I'm excited for it. It comes out in just a few days. I'm looking forward to it. So Tyrus, it's been an hour 20. We've run a little longer tonight than we generally try to go for. But I always love to provide the opportunity. Is there anything else on your mind? Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, just keep an ear out for Secrets of Harridge House. It's winding up. Murphy's Inc.'s coming out right after that, and then we got Captain Fearless coming out as well. And if you already haven't, liked and subscribed to the Fat and Black Connection, and give my boy some love. You'll never know. You might see me on the show again. And of course, Mark might be bringing some more material like this. I'm not looking too bad in this one. So, I don't mind it. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys bringing me on. James, I hope you make it home safe, and we'll see you next week. And also big up to 97 to Now Productions, and thanks for having me.
Right on, right on. And we were of course happy to bring you on and have you here. And I guess you just wanted to test the waters and see what would happen.
Yes, sir.
Well, as we wind down here and we see TYRUS in his sheer top one more time, do you still have that outfit?
No, that was provided by the theater. So yeah, I actually watched another show where someone else had that on.
Because as I was watching this and seeing a lot of my costumes, I was like, hey, I think, yeah, that was actually mine. Because and I don't remember who did what. I know that there were some people who provided their own costumes, some people who didn't, and I was hoping that sheer top was yours and that we could get you to wear it the next time you came on the show.
I guarantee you, I will not fit that right now.
That's okay. It's more for the entertainment value for those watching, for the millions watching around the world. Well, as TYRUS said, if you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe. We're over on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all those fun places. You can also check us out in podcast format. We've been doing this show now for about 75 episodes. So we've been going strong for a while, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So hope you've enjoyed it. And if you haven't, I really don't care, because we're not here for you. We're here for us.
Damn straight.
Well, as we say at the top of the show, we talk about anything and everything as long as it's interesting to us, not if it's interesting to you. So, I think with that, I don't have much else to say. TYRUS, last chance?
Hey, it's been fun, sir.
Absolutely. It has been real and it's been fun. And, as a matter of fact, with you, it's been real fun.
Yes, sir. That's rare. That is rare.
So
97 to Now.
If you wouldn't mind hitting the button and shutting it down.